Officer Moldovan deserves justice. This video is brought to you by the book Being Black and Blue, Being Black and Blue, Being a Black Cop in America Under Siege. My first book. Link is in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Also, download the podcast on all podcasting platforms. You know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, I am incredibly upset about what happened to this young 22-year-old officer who was murdered in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm upset for a myriad of different things. I'm upset that this officer is literally fighting for his life in critical condition, and when all of this was completely avoidable. And I'm upset with the justice system, the fact that the person who shot him multiple times while he was unconscious, unresponsive, was let out of prison. I'm gonna show that guy's criminal record. And then I'm disappointed at the chief. Jerry Williams needs to resign. She's the sorriest chief in Phoenix history. She gets on the soapbox. I'm gonna play the video. She gets on a little soapbox and talk all this stuff about systemic oppression, black and brown bodies. She out here protesting with Black Lives Matter. And when one of her own is executed, essentially, by a criminal that should have been locked up a long time ago, she gives, I'm gonna show you the press conference. She gives some weak press conference and then walk off the stage. Don't even take questions. You sorry son of a gun. I wanna cuss. I'm so mad at this. I'm gonna play a couple videos so you guys can know what I'm talking about, and you can see why my frustration is so high. Roll the film.
Tonight, we're learning Officer Moldovan responded to a call of cars speeding and doing donuts near 19th Avenue and Camelback Road Tuesday morning, eventually leading him to 15th Avenue. Reports show the suspect, Essa Williams, jumping a fence with a gun, hiding in a covered patio of an apartment complex. Officer Moldovan found Williams and asked if he had a gun. Williams said no. That's when police say Williams shot Officer Moldovan.
We may have an officer down. I need several units coming this way.
Reports show Williams continued to shoot the young officer as he lay unresponsive on the ground. When Williams allegedly tried to pull Moldovan's gun from his holster, other Phoenix police officers tackled him to the ground, arresting him.
Which is bullcrap. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I want to see the body-worn camera. This is the problem that we are facing today in policing in America. And I'm frustrated at this fact. How do you shoot an officer down multiple times while he's down and you get tackled? They should have been putting bullets in for 30 minutes. But officers are afraid to shoot a black man. And I don't know if that's the case in this situation, but officers are afraid to shoot a black man because they're going to get sentenced and ridiculed by their own chief. Justified or not. Terrified. This young officer probably was terrified to confront this man like he should, and ended up potentially losing his life over it. I'm going to play a couple more things. They deleted his Instagram channel or made it private, but y'all know I don't sleep. I don't get tired. So I got his Instagram. Deleted his Instagram. Pictures of this boy on Instagram, IG. Don't say that this is he trying to change his life. He's starting over from scratch. He was just trying to turn his life around. This is what this boy is posting. And he got a gun in his hand. Now I want y'all to understand this. Gun, money, there's video on his page where he's doing donuts in an intersection, or he's burning out at an intersection at a light on his Instagram. His Instagram was public until they just made it private. But I screenshot these items of evidence. He was on probation at the time. Probation at the time that this video or these pictures were available to the public, and his probation officer didn't do nothing. He should have been back in jail, violating his probation with a gun on probation after all these crimes he committed. Now, no, listen to me. Let's look at the crimes. And then I'm going to show you Jerry Williams' sorry self and why I have zero respect for her, because she should have stood up more and said more things about this young man, and stood up for her police officer. Now, let's go to this part, and then we're going to talk about Jerry Williams. So if you just go on the criminal case history, the Maricopa County website, you'll be able to see all of this stuff. And this is not rocket science. I'll put the link in the description section. But let's go on up here. You can go through his criminal record. These are separate cases that this knucklehead was involved in, from the earliest to more recent. Let's just click on the cases. Pled guilty. Right here, you can see. He pled guilty to theft of means of transportation, meaning carjacking. So a class 3 felony. He robbed somebody and jacked them for their car. Class 3 felony. Let's go to the next one. Pled guilty to armed robbery with a deadly weapon. Dismiss aggravated robbery. And aggravated robbery is normally when you do a robbery with another person, or you do multiple robberies would make it aggravated. They dismissed this probably because the other person either snitched on him or they kiss in his rear end. And what they do in these cases, they let these people go for stuff they should be charged with. Aggravated armed robbery, pled guilty. Pled guilty to theft of means of transportation, which is he wants to rob somebody for their car. Also pled guilty to aggravated assault, temporary disfigurement. Now, if you beat somebody or you shoot somebody or you injure somebody where they're impaired or disfigured, you get charged with aggravated assault, temporary disfigurement. And then aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, they dismissed that charge. He pled guilty to these. Let's keep going. I don't know why this is the third one. Pled guilty to armed robbery, to aggravated robbery. They dismissed it, which makes no sense. Then he pled guilty to, they dismissed all of these due to grand jury indictment, but he pled guilty to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, aggravated assault, with a deadly weapon. That'd be multiple counts of aggravated assault, deadly weapon, endangerment, and discharging a firearm in the city limits, meaning he fired his weapon in the city limits. Then you go down here, and this is the more recent stuff that he's being charged with, is first degree attempted murder, and attempt to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, possession of a weapon as a prohibited possessor, 2 counts, 3 counts. He's a prohibited possessor. Now let's go back, because I want people to understand this. Back here, let's go back 2017, right here, he should have been sentenced to prison, but they let him out. He should have been sentenced to, somebody was telling me that 23 years, he should have been sentenced to prison, but they let him out. They let him out of prison. But the system is against black and brown bodies. They let him out of prison. I'm going to go here because I want you to see this fraud, Jerry Williams. And this is what they posted on the news, which I feel like didn't do it justice. He got way more charges than this. Go down here to this fraud, Jerry Williams. I'm going to put it up on full screen. Listen to what she say after her officer's been pretty much executed. The man shot him multiple times while he was unresponsive. I think they shot him like 8 times. 1 in the head. This is what she says.
So this morning I ask our entire community to send your thoughts and prayers to Phoenix Police Officer Tyler Moldovan, his wife Chelsea, his family, the 61 King Squad, and all of us. Earlier this morning, Officer Tyler Moldovan was shot multiple times protecting and serving our community. We know that the doctors and the medical staff at the hospital are doing everything they can possible to save him. This kind of incident sends shockwaves throughout our entire valley. There are no words.
There are words.
This kind of incident happens.
There are words.
But I do have to remind you that we're days away from the holidays. So the details as I know them as we stand, just before 2 o'clock this morning,
what is days away from the holiday got to do with anything?
Were searching an apartment complex when a suspect opened fire on Moldovan and shot him multiple times. The other officers on scene acted quickly and were able to get the suspect into custody. None of our Phoenix police officers were able to fire their weapons. Right now, our homicide detectives are on scene, and it's the very early stages of the investigation, so I won't have any details on those. So we're asking the patience of the community and the media as we try to put the pieces of this puzzle.
I'm tired of hearing that talk. I'm gonna cuss in a minute and say something that I ain't saved saying. But why does he get a pass to just say a suspect? Why can't he say a black suspect? Because when it's a white officer against a black man, they quick to say a white police officer. She quick to throw her police officers under the bus. But when a black man who should have been in prison commit a heinous crime You just give a blanket statement. There's no words. There are words. He should have been in prison. He should have been locked up. Why is our justice system allowing people like this to be free? And don't say he just shot multiple times. No, he shot the man while he was unresponsive. He wanted the officer dead. He murdered him. There are words. You just don't want to say the words because you're a mother freaking coward. I'm sick of these people, man. I'm sick of these people. They get out here and they social justice warriors, and then when one of ours get killed, they want to give some blanket statement. She'll get out and cry and go protest when a thug get killed in another city. But she won't stand up for a young police officer fresh out of FTO. That boy couldn't have been he must have just got off FTO and became a solo officer. Just graduated the academy not too long ago. Murdered. And I wonder, and I'm going to get access to that body-worn camera, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. Because I feel like that nowadays, because of these social justice chiefs, that people are afraid to do their job. He probably noticed that he was black and went all, sir, do you have a gun? Sir. He should have had him at gunpoint. Get on the ground. And when he pulled a gun, that trigger finger should have been having a seizure. And we wouldn't have had this problem. And then after the officer was murdered, almost murdered, I think he's probably, I don't think he's going to make it. That's all I'm saying. I don't think he's going to make it. Getting shot 8 times, once in the head, God is going to have to resurrect him. He's on life support for this long, several days now. And nobody discharged their firearm. They tackled him to the ground. As he was trying to pull the gun from the holster of a police officer, he just essentially murdered. And they tackled him to the ground. They didn't shoot him. Probably because he's black. And I'm not saying that's the 100% the case. I need to watch the body-worn camera footage. But my instincts are telling me that when I watch that video, there's going to be some tactical issues that were afoot because this dude was black. I'm telling you. Anyway, RIP to this officer. There's a link, and I should have said this at the very beginning. There's a link I'm going to put in the description section of how you can support this family. I think it's through the Police Officer Association, but how you can support this family, the link will be in the description section. Donate, help them with their medical bills. They need it. Like and subscribe to the channel. Download the podcast on all podcast platforms. I love you guys. I'm very upset about this situation that happened here in my hometown. We need to start standing up against these chiefs and these city council members who are complete cowards. I'll tell Jerry Williams to her face, she is a coward. I'm sick of these people, man. I'm absolutely sick of these feckless leaders. Comment in the comment section on YouTube. Hit me up in the community connect tab on my website if you want to comment on this video. Y'all know what to do. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.